I want to show you the different ways that we can zoom in and out of our view. I have in front of me the view that's open. One easy tool to use is the zoom in tool, which is the magnifying glass with a plus. And if I just hold it in the view and click it, I get a 2 times zoom, which sometimes that's nice, but what I really like to do personally is to draw a box. I'm holding down the mouse and I sweep a little box, and when I release the mouse, I zoom to the size of that box. And that way I can control exactly where I'm trying to go. Now I've zoomed very far in. I don't really want to be that far zoomed in. I want to zoom back out. We have across the top a set of tools that look like maps in a stack. Zoom to full extent takes you to the extent of every single layer. So if you happen to have the state of Indiana in your view, you'll go all the way out to that. I'm going to click that and see how far we go. And the computer's thinking, okay, so my view right now, I have merely my county. Another way to zoom quickly, the button next to that previous button is zoom to active themes, and that zooms to the full extent of whichever theme is active over here. For example, if I make streams active and I hit that button, I've zoomed to the full extent of streams. Now I don't see any streams. The streams are not turned on, but because they're the active theme, I've gone to their full extent. We need to remember that the activities like this usually happen to whichever theme is active or raised, even if you don't see it. That can be misleading. You can zoom to the extent of something that you don't want because you've got the wrong one over here raised. Any straight click can raise up one of these themes. Lastly, I've made a selection of some points in a layer, and we'll have another help session on how to make selection with various tools. But if I want to see those, I can either use the magnifying glass and draw a box around them, or I can use the button at the end of the stack of 3. This button is called Zoom to Selected, and it goes to the extent of any element that is selected in whatever layer is raised up or active. So I'll click on that. Okay, I've zoomed in to my three selected points. Now, I didn't really want that. I want to go back. I have a button over here called Zoom to Previous Extent, which takes me back to whichever my most recent view was. So now I'm back to that. I have a pair of zoom in and zoom out buttons up here which do a 2x zoom in. So I can click this, click, click, click. I see a lot of people doing it this way. This to me is very tedious, and it's much easier to use the magnifying glass and sweep exactly what you want, in my opinion. I've zoomed back out to the full extent. This other button, zoom out, the same thing. As I click, I get farther and farther away each time. I go twice as far as the last time. And for occasional use, that's great, but for me, it's a lot better to draw a box and zoom the way I want. I have a magnifying glass that goes zoom out as well as a magnifying glass that goes zoom in, and it acts much like you just saw. I can draw a box and I can zoom out. Okay, I've vanished almost to a point. I'm going to go back up here and hit zoom to full extent, and I will come back to the full extent of all my map layers. I'll also address getting help in ArcView at this point. There's basically 2 ways to get help. I can come over to the Help menu, drop that down, click on Help Topics, and I get a fairly typical Windows. Let's type in zoom in and see what it says. And I get the nice text-based with some hyperlinks in various topics. So that's one way to get help. If you know what it is you're looking for and you can type in some fragment of it, you can get help that way. The other help tool is the button at the end, which says help when I hover over it. I click that, and then I click any other button or tool, and I get help on that button or tool. Okay, so here's help on the pan tool. I can do that again. Let's click on Zoom to Active Themes. And there's help on Zoom to Active Themes. And help even has a hyperlink. That's all for now.